few of these because I think they're helpful. Okay. And now there's 4 of us. You guys can unmute and talk today. It's okay. All right. So let's look at letter A here, and I'll zoom in. And I only have 25 minutes, but I don't want to go over all of them. We'll go over, and I posted the answers. Oh, by the way, look, I even posted the answers to this. So if there's others you want to try, knock your socks off. Okay. But I thought it'd be good to go over a few of them. Look at letter A, though. These are some good review questions. It says, what is the value of this? Okay. That is the definition of a derivative. Is everyone okay with that? Okay. Now, because remember, here's your definition of a derivative. Limit as h approaches 0, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay. I guess my question is, what is f of x here?
Is it 9?
Well, you're evaluating at x equals 9. I guess, Kenny, though, what's my equation for f? 9 is the value that they're plugging in.
So is it x to the 1/2 minus 3?
Well, no. I'll show you why. Wouldn't it just be x to the 1/2? Because if you did this out at 9, or even f of x plus h would be x plus h to the 1/2, right? Minus x to the 1/2 all over h. So if you plugged in 9, you'd have 9 plus h to the 1/2 minus 9 to the 1/2. Isn't 9 to the 1/2 equal to 3? See how that works? That's kind of cool. So this is a long way of saying take the derivative of f of x equals x to the 1/2 at x equals 3. At x equals 9. Does that make sense, or is that confusing? I mean, once you see it, I think there. And then, so f prime is equal to 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. Subtract, and then put that in the bottom. And then you can plug in your 9, so you get 1 over 2 times 9 to the 1/2. The answer is 1 over 6. 9 to the 1/2 is 3. So I just thought that would be a typical multiple choice, no calculator question. If you think about it, that'd be like on an AP exam, and they would ask that, and you'd have to recognize it's saying the function is x to the 1/2, right? Do you guys see the x to the 1/2 now? And then the way that the 3 is what throws kids off. But if they, so okay. Look at letter B. And again, I'm going to skip around a little bit afterwards, but look at letter B. I would write this first off as, instead of k radical x, as kx to the 1/2, right? Minus ln of x. Everyone okay with that? All right. So what do you think f prime of x is?
So 1/2 wait, no. Yeah, 1/2 kx times 1 over x. Sorry, minus 1 over x.
Yeah, good, Kenny. You only forgot one thing though. 1/2 kx. This is negative 1/2, right?
Oh yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay. Then you're going to say, okay, what's f double prime of x? Repeat. By the way, you don't have to do implicit or chain rule here because your only variable is x, right? And then dx is just 1. Remember that rule. So that this would be negative 1/4 kx to the negative 3/2, I believe, right? Now this is tricky. You might want to write, instead of 1 over x, minus x to the minus 1. Because then it becomes plus x to the minus 2. And you can clean that up after if you wanted to. But like if you wanted to clean it up, you'd probably write it like this. You'd probably write it as negative 1 over 4 k over x to the 3/2. See? Plus 1 over x squared. But you don't have to. But I'm just saying that you could write it like that. What do you guys think? Okay. I'm going to skip number 3. You can look that one up. 4 and 5 are good ones. Again, the only thing for something, you just got to be careful. I don't know why you guys have learned fractions before. Not necessarily well, but you've learned them. Like fractions just throw kids off. Like look, I want you to write this as 5 halves x. And if you're not sure, write 5 halves minus 1. Now, it's embarrassing, but just write it. Okay? 5 halves x to the 3 halves, and then plug in 16. 5 halves times 16 to the 3 halves. Now, that's power over root. You do the square root 4 cubed, so that's 64 times 5. I don't know, whatever it comes out to be. You know, it ends up being 160. But, you know, you could even leave it like that. That's a safe stop right there. Okay, so. Just be careful with something also like letter E. Again, you're probably best off writing things like this. 5x to the negative 3 minus 1/2 x to the 4/5. Okay? I just think you're better off writing it like that. Does that make sense? Okay, because then your derivative is negative 15x to the negative 4 minus, what is that going to be? 4/10 or 2/5 x to the negative 1/5 when you subtract 1. Okay, and they are not like, they don't like totally mandate you do using positive exponents. They used to, but not anymore. So that's helpful for kids. So, okay, let's look at the next one. Letter F is kind of similar to the first one. Again, I like these problems because these are good theory questions. This is telling you to take the derivative, right? What's f of x going to be here, guys? What do you think f of x is? Be careful. What do you think f of x is? This is your definition of a derivative, right? Over here. So now look here and see what is f of x?
X squared minus 5x.
Good. I think it's x squared minus 5x, because what they did here is they already distributed the negative, right? Because this would have been minus x squared plus 5x, right? But you can kind of see the x squared minus 5x here. They just plug an x plus h in. So you just got to look for your x plus h and think if the h wasn't there, that would say x squared minus 5x, right? So then f prime is literally, this is how easy this problem is, 2x minus 5. There's your answer. That's all it's asking you to do, okay? You don't need to go, you know, go through and do it all out, but okay. Let me see. We can skip G. I want to look at H. Now, says linear functions f and g are shown below. H of x equals 3f of x minus g of x. So what's h prime of x going to be? Well, it's going to be 3f prime of x minus g prime of x. Is everyone okay with that? There's no product rule there. That's straightforward. That's as easy as they get. The one on your test that you have this week is way harder than that. So, you know, get ready. Okay, so now you're going to do h. Oh, that's it. It didn't say to evaluate it at a number? I thought it did.
Can't you just like,
Oh,
they're linear equations, so can't you
yeah,
just
so the slopes are constant, right? These are just saying the slopes. So it didn't say add a number. But if I told you to actually figure out a value, you just have to figure out the slope of each line, right? So let's start with f. What's the slope of f? Just pick it, they're a line. So I would pick this point and this point. Old school. Down 1 over 2. Remember doing that? That should have been like the old Spry and Willink days, back when everyone liked math and did well at life. Slope of G. Okay, let's see. Pick a point, pick 2 points. That looks like rise over run. Okay, I went up 3 and over 1. Right? So now I'd say, okay, so my answer is going to be 3 times f prime. Well, f prime is always going to be negative 1/2 minus g prime is always going to be 3. The slopes are constant. With a line, your slopes are constant. So you don't have to figure them out at a point because they're always going to be those, right? If they're drawn. So that ends up being negative 3/2 minus 3. I'd leave it like that, but you know, I'd even leave it like that as a safe stop. But okay, just remember, guys, lines have constant slopes. Okay. Real quick, we'll look at the last two. I'll tell you kind of how to set them up, and then we'll be done. Okay. Now, look at this one. It says g of x equals cx squared plus 5x over d for constants c and d. It says g of 1 equals 25. Okay, so that means 125 is on your point. G prime of 1 is 30. Find the value of c and d. How would... Well, if I plug in 1 for x, I know g of 1 would be, would that be c times 1 plus 5 over d, right? Equals 25. So I can't solve it yet, but I can at least set it up. C plus 5 over d equals 25. Is everyone good with that, what I just did there? But I can't solve for, obviously I need the derivatives. So let's figure out g prime of x. Now, be careful. G prime of x is going to be what? 2cx, right? Plus, what do you think the derivative of 5x over d is? With respect to x, x is an unknown. C and d are constants. What's that going to be, guys? What do you think? Come on. You 3 or 4. What's the derivative of 5x over d? 5 and d are constants, guys.
So negative 5xd to the negative second power.
You're making it, no, you're doing the derivative with respect to d. You're doing the derivative with respect to x.
You have to do quotient rule.
No. Stop. Too hard. We've gone into the world of difficult math. It's tricky. C and D are constants. Here, what's the derivative of 3x? Just what's that derivative? Cassie, what's the derivative of 3x?
3.
Thanks, kiddo. 3. Number in front, right? 5 over d is a constant. I know that the d, you want to do something with it. The derivative is 5 over d. It's just a number in front of an x, right? It's just a constant, see? Oh, tricky. So you end up with 2c plus, in this case, an x is equal to 1. 2c, g prime of 1, plus 5 over d equals 30. Okay? And then I made on my notes that c equals 5. How would I know that c equals 5? Oh.
Could you do system of equations?
Yeah, you actually could. If you so here's your system. Yeah, I didn't write that down when I was working this problem. So you have c plus 5 over d equals 25, right? And you have 2c plus 5 over d equals 30. If you subtract them all, you get negative c equals negative 5, so c equals 5. Oh, yeah. And then just real quick, if you solve it, d ends up equaling 1/4. So now be careful. It didn't ask you what c and d are. It asked you what is c plus d. C plus d is 5 plus 1/4, or 5 1/4. Yeah, system of equations there at the end, Kenny. Good job. Okay. But I'm not so much worried about that. Guys, is everyone clear on why the derivative of 5x over d is just 5 over d? Are you guys good with that now that you've seen it? I know you want to do like quotient rule or something, right? It's not. They're constants. They're just numbers. It'd be like this. 2/3 x. The derivative is 2/3, right? That's all it is. Okay, last one. I just want to tell me, how would you set it up? For what values of x does J have horizontal tangent lines? So how do you find a horizontal tangent? What does your slope at a horizontal tangent mean, guys? What is your slope? Horizontal tangent.
0.
Slope is 0. So that means when I talk about the horizontal tangent, you're going to set f prime or your derivative equal to 0. So j prime of x here would be 4e to the x. I hope you recognize that one. Here, let's try another one. 5/2 x. What's the derivative of 5/2 x?
5/2.
Oh my God. Say it. Everyone, say it. 5/2 and then equal to 0. Okay.
5/2.
Thanks, Cassie. There you go. Okay. And then you get 4e to the x equals 5/2. And if you solve it, you get a natural log. It comes out to be negative 0.470. That's where your slope is equal to 0. Again, I'm not worried about the end part of this with you guys. I wanted to make sure you understood like some like simple derivatives and ways they kind of like work these problems in a little bit. But okay. Any questions? Was it helpful to just do some back derivative stuff a little bit? Especially those definition of derivatives. Those are tricky. Okay. So your test is due by Monday night. I will see you guys again in class for sure on what, Friday? Friday, we actually start the next unit. And also your weekly goes out. Remember, I told you there'd be a couple days where you have 2 assignments out. The weekly is not going to be due for a long time, or you're going to have over a week with Thanksgiving. So main objective right now is to get the test done. Okay. Any questions for me? What is this field trip they're on? AP Spanish?